Hello and welcome to today's lesson. In previous lessons we've looked at nutrients needed in the diet, and we've also looked at food tests. Today we're going to be looking at unhealthy diets. So if you can write the title in your book please, Unhealthy Diets. By the end of the lesson you should be able to recall that different people require different amounts of energy. You should be able to describe some health issues caused by an unhealthy diet, and you should be able to explain how an unhealthy diet causes health issues. So we're going to start with a definition, okay? And remember, in my lessons, all keywords and definitions are in green. The first word we need to define is the term malnourishment. M-A-L-N-O-U-R-I-S-H-M-E-N-T. Malnourishment. Now, malnourishment can be defined as eating the wrong amount or the wrong types of food. So, eating the wrong amounts or wrong types of food. Now, in previous lessons, we've spoken about balanced diets, and we've said that in order to have a balanced diet, you need to eat the right amount of the right types of food. If you are malnourished, you are not eating a balanced diet. So we can add underneath here in red, because it's important, remember, all important points are in red, that malnourishment comes from not eating a balanced diet. Now, a lot of people who've heard of the term malnourishment often think that it means you are not eating enough. However, people who eat too much are also malnourished. So people who are massively overweight and people who are underweight are said to be malnourished. So we can add underneath here again, we can say people who are overweight and underweight are malnourished. Okay? So people who are overweight and people who are underweight are said to be malnourished. But the question is what is the right amount? So what's the right amount of food to eat? So we can put the question, what is the right amount of food to eat? And because it's a question, we can give it a question mark. Now, everything you do, even when you sleep, you require energy. Your cells are carrying out something called respiration, which requires glucose. So the first thing we can say, and I'm going to move over here to give us a bit more room, however you can just do it underneath your question. We can say that we require or we need energy, comma, even in our sleep, comma, that's the worst sleep ever, even in our sleep, comma, so cells can carry out respiration. So we constantly need energy, okay? The energy that we need comes from food, and it is measured in joules or kilojoules, okay? So we can say that energy we need comes from food, and then we can also say, it's this blue, isn't it? We can also say energy is measured in joules, capital J, because that's just how we do it. Joules, it has the unit capital J, or kilojoules, which is 1,000 joules, or kilojoules, which is the unit kJ, which is 1,000 joules. As a bit of a side note, but it's worth mentioning here because it'll help you in future, if something has the word kilo in front of it, it means 1,000. Okay, I'll change that colour so it stands out. So if something has the word kilo in front of it, it means 1,000. So kilo means 1,000. So a kilogram is 1,000 grams. A kilometre is 1,000 meters. A kilojoule is 1,000 joules. Okay? Now, if you look at a food label, it will tell you what foods you should be eating. Now, your diet, as we've said in previous lessons, is made up of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, water, vitamins, minerals. These all make up your diet. Now, most of your food should come from carbohydrates. Then you should be getting lots of vegetables, and then sweets and oils and things like that should be in less quantity, okay? So it should go carbohydrates, fruit and vegetables, meats, fish and dairy, and then oils and fats. So carbohydrates should make up the majority of your food. So carbohydrates should make up most of our diet. Okay? This is what's said generally, however, it's not the case for everybody, okay? And remember that carbohydrates provide us with the energy we need. Now, your body needs to function properly, and the amount of energy you need depends on your age, your body size, and how active you are. So I'm going to put underneath here, and it is part of this one, that the amount of energy you need, I'm putting it in red because it's important, the amount of energy you need depends on your age, purely because if you're younger, you're growing more, so you need more energy. So it depends on your age, your body size, and how active you are. Okay? Now this can be shown by looking at the graph that is on the PowerPoint. So if I make this a little bit bigger, bear in mind if you haven't got the notes down, you can rewind the video. If you look at these different people and the energy they require, a child, in fact we'll just keep it there, a child aged 11, male and female, need the same amount of energy. On average, a child between the age of 5 and 11 needs 8,000 kilojoules of energy per day. Once you get to 11 and 16, males need a little bit more. However, females need more than they did when they were between 5 and 11. An office worker needs about the same amount of energy as a child aged between 11 and 16. A construction worker, because they're very active, they're lifting things all day and moving and constantly on the move, need much more energy than an office worker because they're more active. Pregnant women need more energy than non-pregnant women, okay, because they're using energy for two. They're using the energy that they eat to help grow the fetus into a baby. So remember, the amount of energy you need depends on your age. As you get older, you should need a bit less energy. It depends on your body size. Bear in mind, as you get older, you do get bigger, so you do need more energy, and how active you are. So malnourishment is eating the wrong amount of foods, a wrong amount or wrong types of food. Malnourishment comes from not eating a balanced diet. People who are overweight and underweight are malnourished. What's the right amount of food to eat? So we need energy even when we sleep so that our cells can carry out respiration. The energy we need comes from our food. This energy is measured in joules or kilojoules. The word kilo means 1,000, so a kilojoule is 1,000 joules. The amount of energy you need depends on your age, your body size, and how active you are. And the majority of our food should come from carbohydrates, with vegetables and fruit next, meats and protein, meats and dairy after that, and then at the top we've got lipids. So, let's think now why it's unhealthy to be underweight. So we can put, why is it unhealthy to be underweight? So why is it unhealthy to be underweight? If you don't eat enough food, you won't have enough energy for your cells to carry out respiration. So we can say, if you do not eat enough food, your cells do not have the energy they need. Do not have the energy they need. Okay? Now, if you do not eat enough food, you can end up in something known as starvation. Starvation. Okay? And starvation is a key word. Starvation is Starvation. Starvation. Now, starvation can be defined as an extreme case of not eating enough food. Of not eating enough food. Okay? Now, starvation can be very, very dangerous. It'll lead to you losing body mass, and people who are underweight often have health conditions. So, we can say that not eating enough food can lead to loss of body mass and cause health conditions, so such as a poor immune system. So it can lead to health conditions such as a poor immune system, it can lead to a lack of energy. So often you don't feel like you've got the energy to do anything, to do what you need to do in your life. So lack of energy. And it can also cause a lack of vitamins and minerals, which is very important in your body. Okay, so being underweight can also cause a lack of vitamins and minerals. Okay? Now, why is it unhealthy to be overweight? So we've gone from one extreme where you're underweight. We now need to think about why it's important that you don't become overweight. So we can put the next subheading, why is it unhealthy to be overweight? Question mark. So why is it, that's the worst line ever, why is it unhealthy to be overweight? Apologies that it's so close to this, I'm just trying to save room, okay? So if you eat too much food than you need, so you get too much energy, your body will store it as fat and your body mass will increase. So we can say eating too much energy will cause the body to store it as fat and body mass will increase. And body mass will increase. Now, this can lead to what's known as obesity. Okay? Obesity. And obesity will be a key word. If I can just find in my notes. There we go. So we'll use the word obese. O-B-E-S-E. Now, if someone is obese, they are extremely overweight. So to be obese, you have to be extremely overweight. Okay? Now, if you are extremely overweight, you have an increased risk of various illnesses. So we can say being overweight can cause ... heart disease, it can cause a stroke, it can cause diabetes, and it can cause cancer. So some cancers can be caused by being overweight. Now, it's important we balance the amount of energy we use with the amount of energy we take in so that we don't become underweight, so that we get health conditions such as a poor immune system, a lack of energy, and so that we don't eat too much and become obese, so that we don't develop things like heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and some cancers. So I'm going to put underneath in red, and it's not necessarily linked to any, we should balance the amount of energy we consume or we take in with what we use so that we do not become overweight or underweight. So that we don't become overweight or underweight. Okay? So being underweight is unhealthy because if you do not eat enough food, your cells don't have energy they need. This can lead to starvation, which is an extreme case of not eating enough food, and not eating enough food can lead to a lack of body mass and can cause health conditions such as a poor immune system, a lack of energy, and a lack of vitamins and minerals. Why is it unhealthy to be overweight? If you eat too much energy, it will cause the body to store it as fat, and body mass will increase. This can lead to you being obese, which is extremely overweight, which can cause things like heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and some cancers. We should balance the amount of energy we take in with what we use so that we don't become overweight or underweight. Final bit of today's lesson. And remember, you can pause the video whenever you want. We need to put the subheading: what are vitamin and mineral deficiencies. DEF, and we'll define what that is, don't worry. DEFICI ENCIES. So what are mineral and vitamin deficiencies? And our first key word is going to be the term deficiency. Okay? Deficiency. And you spell that exactly how we've done here. So all keywords are in green. DEFICIENCY. A deficiency. So a deficiency can be defined as a lack of a substance that leads to poor health. Okay? So a lack of a substance that leads to poor health. Now, if you do not get enough of certain vitamins and minerals, you can have what are known as deficiency diseases. So, not eating enough vitamins and minerals can lead to deficiency diseases. DEFICIENCY. Deficiency, that is a C by the way, not a Z. Deficiency diseases. Examples of these include not having enough vitamin A can make it very difficult for you to see in dark light. It's known as night blindness. So, e.g., little vitamin A leads to poor eyesight in dim light. This is known as night blindness. Known as night blindness. Okay? Another one is vitamin D deficiency, which can lead to what's known as rickets. So, vitamin D deficiency leads to rickets. Now, rickets is an illness where your bones become weak, and a common trait is where the legs start to bow, like in the image shown here from the PowerPoint. So rickets causes your bones to become weak and they start to bow. So it leads to rickets, which causes weak bones. For that reason, it's important that you eat lots of vitamins and minerals so that you don't become deficient in them. So deficiency is a lack of a substance that leads to poor health. Not eating enough vitamins and minerals can lead to deficiency diseases. Little vitamin A can lead to poor eyesight in dim light, known as night blindness. Vitamin D can lead to rickets, which cause weak bones. Another example would be calcium. which is a mineral. So calcium is needed for strong teeth and bones. Lovely. So you should now be able to recall that different people require different amounts of energy and why. You should be able to describe some health issues caused by an unhealthy diet. So can you just state what they are? And you should be able to explain how an unhealthy diet causes health issues. So being underweight means that your cells don't have enough energy to carry out the processes they need, which can lead to a poor immune system. Being overweight means that you store lots of body fat, which can lead to various health conditions. So hopefully you understood this lesson. If you do have any questions, please contact me by the usual means, via email or through Google Classrooms. And so long as you don't have any questions, I will speak to you in the next video. Thank you very much.